Correct? So once again I'll start. If you see the shed now, this shed, it is of span 21 meters in x direction and 11 meters in the y direction. So at equal intervals, they have provided the truss. That is, at a distance of every 3.5 meters, one truss is being provided. So here we have the wall. Next is, here you can see the dotted line what they have shown. This is the truss. So if you count the truss, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore we have 5 trusses now. So for this 5 trusses, what we do, we are going to calculate the quantity of steel as well as the painting quantities and other items what we have. So next is, if you see, what you can say, in this they have given one note, that is all these strut and tie members are of size 65 by 65 by 6 mm unless otherwise shown. So what happens is that in the figure what they have done is that for few what can say members they have shown the sizes, and for few members only they have written, like here you can see 1, 2, 3 they have written. So therefore, like unless otherwise specified, the sizes of the members are 65 by 65 by 6, and all the other dimensions are in meters. All the other dimensions are in meters. Right? If you see the truss now, this is one symmetrical truss what we have. If you see this section EF or joint EF, if you see what we have on the left side of that joint, same thing we have it on right side. So usually what we do for half truss, we try to calculate, and if you multiply it by 2 for all the members, what happens to that? We will get for the whole truss. So in that way, we are going to calculate. Whether you are getting what I am telling? Anyone can answer, like.
Yes, sir. Getting.
No problem, right? Till now, what I have said, like voice, presentation, and all, like it is visible. No problem from my side.
No issues, sir. No issues.
I don't know whether few members are getting exited from this meeting or whether they are entering. I don't know. I am getting continuously on beep sound. Wow. Okay, let it be. I'll continue. Then next is that compared to the previous problem, if you see, so here like they have given the joint numbers, namings like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So it becomes easy for us to do the calculation. But in the previous example, what I had solved, so it was not given like that. So here what happens is that they have given the joint numbers, and they are, this is somewhat simplified, we can say. If you write everything on the sketch itself, it was like a bit complicated in the previous example. Right? So this is the elevation what we have, half section elevation what we have of the truss. Then next is that here they have given the details of the purlin. Right? So if you can see here, this is the joint D. So they have given one joint details. Right? So this is the principal rafter. So you can see here now, this is the principal rafter what we have. So this is the principal rafter. Above that, here like in detail it is not possible to show. So therefore they have shown this detail, joint detail. So what happens is that this is the principal rafter. Above that we have one cleat angle, right? Then next is that above that we have the purlins which are running now, which are running perpendicular. So if you see the plan now, this is the truss. The dotted line is the truss. Purlins are going to run perpendicular to that. That means purlins are going to run in this way. Purlins will run somewhat in this direction, perpendicular to the truss. Perpendicular to this truss, they are going to run. So here what dots are, like what dark marks we are seeing, these are nothing but the purlins. So for that they have done the details, right? How the purlins is being connected? It is with the help of cleat angle, it is being connected. With the help of this cleat angle, what happens that this is being connected to the principal rafter. This is the detail what they have given. So now what we'll do, we'll try to calculate. Now this truss is being supported on the two supports what we have. We are going to have one base plate, we are going to have the cleat angle, we are going to have the cleat angle which is being connected to this gusset plate. This gusset plate will be attached to the truss member. So in this way, the load transfer is going to happen from this truss to this, what you can say, the supports. So two supports we are going to have. So now we will start with the calculation of the quantities of this steel truss. So as we have 5 trusses now, so what we do, we will try to calculate for one truss, we will multiply it by 5 so as to get the quantity for all the 5 trusses. So we will start with the calculation of quantities now. Steel work in roof truss including erection, fixing, roof truss in the position, right? So for one truss, we will try to calculate now. We will start one by one. So first we will take principal rafter. We will take one principal rafter. So if you see the figure, this is the principal rafter we have, this inclined member what we have. You can see they have given principal rafter. They have given the principal rafter of size 80 by 80 by 8. That is a double angle. Double angle. That means here we have two angles which are being connected back to back. So you can see here double angle 80 by 80 by 8 mm angle we have, right? So what happens is that on left side we have two numbers. Similarly on right side we are going to have two numbers. So therefore totally 4 numbers we have. So therefore I have written this as 4 numbers. Next comes is length. So length, if you see here, you can see here they have given the length of the member, that is 7.5 meters. So 7.5 meters. So length is 7.5 meters. Right? So what we'll do, we'll calculate the running meter length of this angle. Right? So one member is of length 7.5 meters. Similarly, we have 4 numbers. So therefore, if you multiply, you'll get length as 30 meters. The length as 30 meters now. This is the length we have. So the next is that we have to calculate the quantity. So what happens is that if you see the steel table, from the steel table what we do, we are going to get the weight per meter of this angle section. So weight per meter of this angle section is 9.6 kg per meter. Kg per meter we have. So this is meter. Kg per meter multiplied by meter. Right? So that is weight multiplied by this quantity. We are going to get the weight, that is kg per meter multiplied by meter. We are going to get kg. So this much kg of steel is required so as to provide this principal rafter of 4 numbers. That is 288 kg of steel is required so as to provide for this 4 number of principal rafter. Right? So here what happens is that if you see this sketch carefully, so detailing looks more complicated, but actually as far as calculation is concerned, it is very easy. Everything will be given in the figure itself. Sizes will be given to you. If you see this, what you can say, principal rafter itself, these sizes are given to you, length is given to you. Only you have to multiply, and you have to multiply it by, what you can say, weight per running meter. That is going to give the quantity. Everything is given. One thing is you have to take it from the steel table. Right? So this is being given, this is being given, this you have to, this if you multiply you'll get the quantity, this you'll get it from the steel table. If you multiply you'll get the answer. So that much simple we have. Calculation of steel truss is very simple. And another thing is that if you see the steel truss what we had solved earlier in the YouTube video, so what happens is most of the times if you see in the textbook one problem we have, most of the time only that problem is being asked in the exams. Right? So that also you can take care. So that problem you try to concentrate more. Right? So you can see the concept what we have done in this case. Right? Then next is that after this principal rafter is over, then next we will try to calculate for the strut members. This is one strut member. So here they have not given the detail. That is they have written strut 1. So here they have given the note. That is all members are 65 by 65 by 6 unless otherwise shown. So here they have not given detail, that means it is of size 65 by 65 by 6. And they have given the numbering, that is strut number 1, strut number 2, strut number 3. So one by one we will try to calculate. So here we have strut number 1. So we'll calculate for struts now. Strut number 1 of size 65 by 65 by 6. On the left side we have one member, on right side we will have another member. So therefore two numbers. Then next is length of 0.55 meters. 0.55 meters. So therefore here I will write it as what you can say 0.55 meters is the length. If you multiply 2 multiplied by 0.55, you will get it as 1.1. 1.1. So we are going to get the weight from the steel table, that is 5.8. If you multiply, you get answer as 6.38. Similarly, what we do now, we will calculate for all the other struts. Right? So next, if you see, the second strut is of length 1.8 meters. Size will remain same, length per meter will remain same. So therefore, second strut, two numbers, length is 1.8. If you multiply, you get this. Weight per meter will remain same. If you multiply, you get this answer. Next is, we will go for strut number 3. This is the strut number 3 of size 0.9 meters. Right? So 0.9 meters, if you will have two numbers, quantity will be 1.8. The next is weight per meter will remain same. If you multiply, you get the answer as 10.44. Then next is we'll go for tie members now. We'll go for the tie members. If you see now, tie members also they are given the numbering 3, 4, 5 they are given. Here they are given the numbering, that is bottom member they are given it as type 1 of size 80 by 80 by 6 and length is 3.7 meters. Right? Same thing we are going to write tie member number 1 80 by 80 by 6. Then next here they are given. Here if you see carefully, they have given it as double angle, two members. Right? So as it is symmetrical, from here till here, two numbers we have. On the right side, from here we will have two numbers. So therefore, totally four numbers we have. Four numbers of length 3.7 meters. If you multiply, you will get the quantity. This will get from steel table, you will get the answer. Next one is truss tie member 2. This is the tie member number 2. This is also a double angle of size 80 by 80 by 6 and length is 1.7 meters. Length is 1.7 meters. Right? So if you compare it with the previous problem, in the previous problem from here till here, there was one single member. But here in this case, it is not so. Why? Because you can see here, so from this line till this line, it is 1.7 meters. Again from here till here, again we have another number, that is 1.7 meters. Right? So therefore this is double angle, two numbers we have. Similarly here we have double angle, two numbers. Right? So therefore totally four numbers we have. Therefore tie member number 2, double angle 80 by 80 by 6, we have left side to right side 2, therefore four numbers, length is 1.7 meters. Multiplied by weight per meter, we will get the answer. Next is, we will go to the tie member number 3. So this is the tie member number 3 we have, which is of length 1.2 meters. Right? So they are not given the size, that means size is 55 by 65 by 6. Right? So therefore, two numbers we have, this is single angle, left side one member, right side one member, therefore totally two numbers. Length is 1.2 meters. To multiply, 2 multiplied by 1.2, you get it as 2.4. Weight per meter is 5.8. So we will get total quantity as 13.92 meters. Kg. 13.92 kg. Next is, we will go for tie member number 4. So tie member number 4 is of size length 1.9 meters. So tie member number 4, they are not given the size, that means 65 by 65 by 6. Therefore two numbers, length is 1.9. If you multiply, you get 3.8. This will get from steel table, you will get the answer. Then next is, we will go to tie member number 5. So we were talking about this tie member number 5, which is of length 2.9 meters. This number you can see. And so therefore we will have now tie member number 5, 65 by 65 by 6, two numbers, length is 2.9. If you multiply, you get these answers. Then next we will go to the central suspender. This is the central suspender we have, which is of only one number. So usually students do mistake here itself. So central suspender, it will be only one number. So you take care. So which is of size 50 by 50 by 6 and length is 2.6 meters. Correct? The central suspender 50 by 50 by 6, one number, length is 2.6. You multiply by 4.5, you will get the answer. Next is, we will go to the cleat angles now. So cleat angle, one angle will be provided here, which is of size 80 by 80 by 8. So cleat angle at central suspended is over, cleat angle at base plate, that is 65 by 65 by 6. So we will have 4 numbers now. We will have 4 numbers. Why? Because we can see here now we will have the gusset plate, left side will have one number, right side will have one number. So therefore, here the size is being changed. You can change that size. So it is 80 by 80 by 8. You can write that as 80 by 80 by 8. Right? So previously in this, what you can say, here I have shown 65 by 65 by 6. You can make it as 80 by 80 by 8. And proportionately you can write that weight. Right? So two numbers. Left side one, what you can say, if you see this gusset plate, right side of gusset plate will have one number. Left side of that gusset plate, we have another number. So therefore at this joint itself we will have 2 numbers. So on right side joint we will have 2 numbers. So therefore 4 numbers. Now length, what will be the length? How will come to know? So you can see now base plate, it is of what you can say, size 0.3 by 0.3, or you can see this support size is in x direction, this is 0.6, and perpendicular to this it is what you can say 0.3 by 0.3. This is the size of the support. So what is the size of the support? That much size will be the size of this from here till here. This length of angle will be 0.3 meters. So this will be 0.3 meters. So if you multiply, you will get the total quantity or width of this cleat angle. Then next is for purlins we are going to calculate. You can see now this is the purlin we have. These are the purlins. What dots you are seeing now? What dots here you are seeing? These are the purlins we have. Here you can see these are the purlins we have. So these details are being given somewhere here. So these are the pins are being connected to this principal rafter with the help of this cleat angle, which is of size 65 by 65 by 6. So how many, what you can say, purlins we have? You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 numbers on left side, 5 numbers on right side. So therefore, totally we are going to have 10 numbers. 10 numbers. Then next comes is, what you can say, the length. So how do you calculate the length now? Size of these purlins is 80 by 80 by 8. So therefore 80 plus, what you can say, 8 plus 80. So that will be 168 mm. That is 0.168 meters. So if you multiply, you will get the answer as 9.74 kg. This is how we are going to calculate for a cleat angle which is being provided at the purlins. Then next, we will go to the gusset plate calculation. Gusset plate calculation. So now usually what happens is that thickness of the gusset plate will be given to us. That is 8 mm thick. 8 mm thick. So whichever thickness is being given to you, so that you can take. Right? So here all the gusset plates are 8 mm thick. So here what we do is that we will try to calculate the area. Afterwards we will multiply it by width. Right? So here what happens is that here they have given the joint numbers A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So in the previously it was not given. So whenever you are solving the exam also, if you try to mark this and if you try to solve, it will be easier for you to check it out which joint whether we have considered or not. If you don't do any marking, it will be difficult in the exam to cross check whether we have taken this element or not. If you do marking, we will come to know like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, like I have taken all the numbers. It will be easy for you. In that way you can do. Okay? So here you can see at joint A we have one, what you can say, gusset plate. At joint A we have one gusset plate of size 0.6 by 0.4. So now here what happens is that this drawing is, I think it is not so clear. So what I will do is that afterwards I will send you this drawing. Soft copy I will send you, so that you can refer and you can do the calculation, or you can do, you can write it in books. Right? So gusset plate is of size 0.6 by 0.4. So at support A we have, similarly on the other support we will have, therefore it will be 2 numbers. 2 numbers of size 0.6 by 0.4. So this is very easy. Only these sizes, what you can say, these sizes are given to you. Only you have to write the number, you have to multiply, you will get the answer. Correct? You have to calculate the area 0.6 by 0.4 multiplied by 2. Next we will go to this joint B. So on the joint B, you can see it is 0.25 by 0.2, right? Therefore 0.25 by 0.2, we'll get the answer, two numbers, left, right. On C, we have similarly on right side, we have two numbers of size 0.75 by 0.25. So that we have to write 0.75 by 0.25. Then next is we'll go to joint D. Joint D, it is 0.25 by 0.2. So that will write 0.25 by 0.2, two numbers. Then next joint E. So you take care here at the center, only one joint we have, we don't have on right side. Why? Because this is the center. So therefore this will be only one number of size 0.75 by 0.5. That is 0.75 by 0.5, that is 0.38. Then next is F. That is 0.2 by 0.25. This will also be only one number. So therefore this is only one number, 0.2 by 0.25. Then next is G. Again two numbers left and right, 0.45 by 0.3. 0.45 by 0.3, that is 0.27. Then next is H. The next is H. Again 0.35 by 0.25. Two numbers, 0.35 by 0.25. Therefore it will be 0.18. Two numbers. Right? The next is weight per what you can say square meter. Like now what we have done is that we have calculated the area of this 8 mm thick plate now. We have calculated area of this thick plate. So what we'll do is that we'll try to calculate what is the weight per square meter. Weight per square meter of what you can say this 8 mm thick plate. How do we calculate now? So density of steel is 7850 kg per cubic meter multiplied by what you can say meter. Thickness of the plate is 8 mm. If you convert it in meter, it will be 0.008 meter, right? So kg per cubic meter, and this is meter. So if you multiply, you'll get answer in kg per square meter, right? So if you take 8 mm thick plate, its weight will be 62.8 kg per square meter, right? So here what we have done, here we have calculated the area, that is square meters. So this is kg per square meter. Kg per square meter multiplied by square meter, you will get answer in what you can say kg. So therefore what you have to do, you have to take multiply the 62.8 multiplied by 1.93. You will get answer in what you can say kg per. You will get the answer in kg. This is regarding the gusset plates. The next is we will calculate for base plate. At the support, if you see, we have the base plate of size 0.3 by 0.3 by 0.15. Right? So we'll have two supports we have, therefore two numbers 0.3 by 0.3. If you multiply, you'll get answer as 0.18. Similarly, if you calculate, you'll get this 117.75. So if you multiply, you'll get answer as 21.2 kg. So if you are going to do total of what you can say all the angle sections, gusset plate and base plate, till now total quantities we have calculated. If you multiply, you'll get answer as 720.94 kg. Right? So this is for one truss. Right? Then next is that so as to what you can say fix those angle sections and all, we require certain bolts in the so as to connect this truss purlins and cleat. So what we do, we will take 5% of the total quantity. 5% of the total quantity. So here what happens is that in the sketch in detail everything is not being given. So therefore what we do as a thumb rule, we will take 5% of this total value. Therefore 720.94 multiplied by 5%, that is 5 divided by 100, we will get 36 kg. So therefore 36 kg of these bolts are required. So what we do now, we are going to add this 720 plus 36 kg, it will be 756.94. So this is for one truss. This is the total quantity of steel required for one truss. So how many trusses we have now? So we have 5 trusses. 5 trusses. So we will multiply it by 5. So as to get as we will get weight as what you can say 3785 kg. 3785 kg. This is the total quantity of steel required for the steel shed. Right? Then next is we will calculate for purlins now. We will calculate for purlins. What happens is that in the truss quantity itself we have not added those purlin quantities. Why? Because what happens is that truss are running in this direction. Right? We have 5 trusses. If you multiply, you get the answer. But purlins are running in this direction. Purlins are running in this direction. So don't get confused. Why we have not added purlins there? So purlins are separate entity, like they are running here. So if you generally students want wrong, so therefore purlins has to be calculated at the end, right? So after calculation of this number of presses. So purlins, how many purlins we have? Just now I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So left side 5, right side 5. Therefore 10 numbers. Right? So therefore 10 numbers. As it is a double angle now. As it is a double angle multiplied by 2. Therefore totally what happens? 20 angle sections we have. Right? Then next is we have to calculate the length now. We have to calculate the length. So first you should know from where till where this purlins are running. Purlins are running from here till here. So this what you can say length is 21 meters. You can take this bearing as 0.15 meters. Left 0.15 meters, right. So therefore this length will be 21.3. What you can say 21.3 meters. 21.3. If you multiply, you get 446 kg. Weight per meter is 8. So you'll get, if you multiply, you'll get 3568 kg of purlin. So if you add up this quantity, you will get the total weight of steel. That is 7353 kg. This much kg of steel is required. Right? Then next is we'll calculate the painting quantity. So if you have any doubts, you can ask now. Till now we have calculated the steel quantities. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Guys, if you have any doubts, you can ask. Or otherwise in the chat section you can message me. So we'll calculate now painting quantity of truss now. So what happens is that already we have written everything. Same thing has to be done copy paste. In the exam also you remember what all things you have written here. So same thing has to be written. Right? Only here case will come is that you have written these 4 numbers, you have written this length also. Only thing is that you have to multiply it by breadth now. Painting is being measured in square meters. That means you have to calculate the area. How you will get area? Length multiplied by breadth. Only this breadth has to be multiplied to those previous columns. Right? If you see the previous columns, let me show you. Now if you see principal rafter 7.5 written. Here breadth column was blank. So here if you fill the breadth column, that you will get the, what you can say, painting quantity. You will get the painting quantity. Now how to calculate this breadth? So that we are going to see now. Right? So what happens is that, so now if you take this angle section now, I want to do painting of this, what you can say, this angle section. So where we are going to do the painting, if you see the bottom surface, so this surface, right? So for example now if you take this, what you can say, principal rafter, it is of size, what you can say, 80 by 8, right? So here I have shown 80 by 8, that means this surface is 80 mm, this surface is 80 mm, right? So these are two faces. Now here also I have to do painting now, right? So from here till here, it is 72 mm. If you want to do on top, it is 8 mm. 72 plus 8, this will be 80 mm. Similarly, this vertical face, this is 72 mm, and this face, if you want to do painting, it is 8 mm. Therefore, if you are going to add up this, it will be 80 mm. So therefore, what happens is that we are going to calculate in this way. Very simple. Sizes will be known to you 80 by 8, right? So you can, what you can do, 80 plus 80 multiplied by 2, right? So if you multiply, you get 320 mm, that is 0.32 meters. So breadth will be 0.32 meters. If you multiply this, 4 multiplied by 7.5 multiplied by 0.32, you get quantity as 9.6, right? So next we'll calculate for the struts. So this and this, everything is being written. Only this you have to multiply. How will you get 0.26? 65 plus 65 multiplied by 2. So for example, here if it is 50 now, 50, 65 plus 50 multiplied by 2. That's it. Right? So similarly, you can do calculate for all the breadth. If you multiply, you'll get all the answers. Next is for the time members also same thing. And central for all the angle sections. This is how we are going to do. Right? For cleat angle also same thing. For purlins also same thing. Then next is we will calculate for gusset plate now. So in the gusset plate only there is a slight change, right? So if you see at joint A we had one gusset plate. So on right side we had another gusset plate. So therefore in the previous thing we had written it as two numbers. If you take one plate, like two plates we have, right? So if you want to do painting on this plate, right? Front side we have, back side we have. So for one plate, two side painting has to be done, right? So therefore here it is two number, on right side it is two number. So therefore totally four numbers or four sides you have to do the painting. Of size what? 0.6 by 0.4. So these things already you have written in the previous column itself. Only thing is that here what has to be written. So in the previous column we had written two numbers. On two faces you have to do, therefore you have to multiply by two numbers. So therefore it will be multiplied by 2. What all things you have written previously, that has to be multiplied by 2. So 2, if you multiply, this was one number. These are central suspenders. One number. So we have multiplied it by 2. So therefore it will be two numbers. Right? So if you multiply it by 2, we are going to get the painting quantity of the gusset plate. Right? Similarly for base plate, and this is for one truss. If you add up, you will get for one truss. If you multiply, you will get for all the 5 trusses. Then next is for purlins, you have to calculate 20 numbers. Length is 21.3. You have to calculate the width, that is 100 plus 75. That is 175 multiplied by 2. It is 350.35 meters. If you multiply, you will get the 149 as the answer. If you add up all these things, you will get total painting quantity as 281.55 square meters. Then next is we'll try to calculate now. This is what you can say principal rafter we have. Above that we have one GI sheet. GI sheeting we have, right? So that has to be calculated now. So GI sheeting, what happens is that if you see on this side slope we have a number, on this side we have another number. So therefore totally two numbers we have. So now what will be the length? So length here they have given. So length will come to know from this, what you can say, plan. Plan will come to know this length is 21 meters. You can take offset. So you'll get it as 21.3 meters. 0.15 offset. Right? So 21.3 meters. Then next 21.3 meters. Next comes is breadth. Breadth is nothing but this. So we have taken the length. Next comes is this is the breadth. So now what will be the breadth now? Here you can see this inclined distance is 7.5 meters. So here you can see there is certain offset of 0.1. Similarly, at top also we have the offset of 0.1 meters. Therefore, this is 7.7 meters on left side, right?